it's DragonFeather, and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, I will be doing the first episode of my Crystals 101 series, and this is going to be my introduction to crystals. So, I get lots of questions from you guys asking me about my crystals, asking me about properties of crystals, how to use them, how to meditate with them, the list goes on and on. So I really wanted to make a video and share just a little bit of an introduction before I do more specific, more crystal specific videos in the future. So these are just a few of my crystals. These are not all of them by any means. I have quite a few crystals and I would love to share them all with you, and I hope that I will be able to do so one day, but there's just so many of them, it's kind of like ridiculous sometimes. But anyway, so for this video, I'm going to go a little bit over what crystals are, how we can use them, where you can find them, and how they can help us. So I have my notes here so I don't miss anything, and just going to read a little bit of what I wrote and then kind of expand upon it. Alright, so what are crystals? Crystals are literal creations of Earth. They are part of Gaia and her consciousness. They are extensions of Mother Earth's literal being. So what does this mean? So crystals were created by the Earth. The Earth, most of the crystals I own and most of the crystals you'll find were naturally created. Some of them, yes, were heat treated or coated in something to make them appear different and have different properties. However, the majority of these crystals are created by Earth. Therefore, they are literal extensions. So they're a part of her consciousness, and you can connect with Mother Earth's consciousness through your crystals. Crystals vary in shape, size, structure, and color. They too are infinite beings of Earth. We can communicate and connect with them on a conscious level. Crystals are the most structured form of matter that naturally forms on Earth, and therefore they literally possess condensed Earth magic. What do I mean by this? Well, the structure of crystals varies, and each crystal will vary on the hardness scale, but for the most part, and generally speaking, crystals will have the most structured, most dense, and most organized structure of anything here. That's why diamonds are so expensive, because they're so incredibly strong, sturdy, gorgeous, and you know, they're awesome. Diamonds are just freaking cool. For example, something more common like clear quartz, this too has a structured molecular structure. So it grows in a certain way and it's organized in their matter. So certain crystals are going to be much stronger than others on a physical level. However, depending on how they're created, they will actually have different properties and they'll work differently, and they will resonate with different parts of our everyday life, with our chakras, and will be just different types of ways to use them. So now that we know a little bit about what crystals are, let's learn how and why we use them. Crystals have been in the hands of man for countless ages. We use them for infinite reasons, for we too are infinite beings. Crystals are commonly used for healing, meditation, and directing energy. Crystals vary in their ability to heal depending on what type of crystal they are. So, for example, something like amethyst here, this big purple cluster with all the crystals sitting on top of it. Amethyst is going to be a good stone to work with if you want to work with your dreams, if you want to work with your psychic ability and your connection to the conscious and the universal realms. However, if you wanted to work with something like, say, let's see here, azurite, for example, azurite's going to be good with opening your third eye and clearing your throat chakra, as well as really kind of expanding your mind and opening it to ideas and really helping you manifest things. It's a good stone for manifestation. Amethyst is good for psychic stuff, and azurite is good for manifestation. So it really just depends on what crystal you have and what crystal you use or what you're trying to accomplish. So every single crystal is going to be different. They vary in literal quality, structure, color, and compounds, making them literal expressions of infinity. The incredible difference is that the same types of crystals, such as clear quartz, will maintain a constant molecular structure. crystals are infinitely constant and constantly infinite. What I mean by this is that each crystal that you have is going to be different, obviously. So each crystal that grows, no two clear quartz points are going to be the same. However, the incredible difference is that when you look at them on a molecular level, they will be the same. So that's kind of the incredible thing about crystals, and one of the things that really makes them stand out amongst other life here on Earth, and amongst other things here on Earth. I guess you could argue that these are not living things. They do not have cells. This is true. However, they do emit vibration. They do have the high vibrations, and they do have these structures that make them different from anything here else on Earth. So crystals emit measurable amounts of energy. Certain types of crystals, such as clear quartz, transmit energy and are used in almost, if not every computer today. So right now, what you're watching me on, your computer or your iPod, your phone, whatever it may be, probably has crystals in it, believe it or not. I'm gonna guess that it's clear quartz because it's a good transmitter of energy. You can use it to transmit and receive energy, and pretty much used in all computers because of that reason. So pretty fascinating little fact there. Crystals are magical in nature, for sometimes their presence alone is powerful. Physically touching crystals makes an instant connection from our being to theirs. Actively working with a crystal in a physical manner can help strengthen this connection. If we work with crystals often, we can even establish a relationship with them. So what do I mean by establishing a relationship with your crystal? So if you click this video and you have a crystal and you want to get to know more about it and you want to learn how to connect with it and really utilize its full potential to help you in your life, the best way to do this is to actively work with your crystal. And what I mean by this is by holding it, literally. Take a crystal in your hand and hold it and look at it and meditate with it and talk to it, ask it questions, and be open to its energy, be open to the things that it transmits to you, and be open to what messages it may relay to you. Because that's really how you're going to connect with them, is by actively trying to reach out your consciousness to theirs, because that's the way that I've had most success and the way that I believe most people have had success as well. If you guys have any like suggestions on how to connect with your crystals, things to do in order to establish a better connection and a stronger lasting connection with your crystal, please leave it in the comment section below, because I would love to hear about it. And I'm always looking for new ways to play with my crystals, because they're like my best friends. Crystals are my best friends. I don't know about you guys, but my crystals are my homies. How can crystals help us? So, a curious thing about crystals is that they will only give you as much energy as you put into them. Energy flow must be open and mutual in order to establish a connection. So, when you want to work with the crystal, you can't be like, this isn't gonna work, it's a fucking rock. You can't be like that, because if you're like that, then they're not gonna communicate with you, you're not gonna work well with them, you won't be open to their energy, and it's just gonna be a rock to you, if that's what you think. But what you have to do is you have to challenge yourself to be open to the possibility that it could be greater than you ever imagined, and to work with these crystals on a more intimate level, and to be open to working with them in such a way. And the more energy you give to these crystals, the more energy they're going to give back to you. So if you give them your all, you give them your 110%, they're going to give you their all, and they're going to give you their 110%. So certain crystals we connect easily to, and others we might have to work with to be open to energy flow between us and the crystal. So for example, some of my crystals I instantly connected with. I was like, touched it and I'm like, oh damn. Like this one, when I first touched this crystal, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's pretty small. It's a piece of citrine. But when I first grabbed it, it actually made my hand go numb. And when I did that, it blew my mind. And I'm like, yep, buying that crystal because that's crazy. And for a while, because it was so strong and I had such a strong connection to it, I actually used it as the point on my wand. That wand has kind of seen its days, unfortunately, but it was just incredible. And like sometimes I still can't hold this crystal for too long of a period of time because of this reason. However, other crystals I've struggled establishing a connection with. Like, let's take this sunstone for example. This sunstone right here is, probably not the crystal that I'm gonna pick up, most of the time and like want to work with. However, but when I do work with this crystal, I do struggle a little bit. And that's a good thing because it helps me grow, and it helps me expand my consciousness in an even better way, and it helps me work my psychic muscles. And when you find a crystal that you really love, that you really like, and you want to work with, but you struggle with connecting with it, then maybe it's just a lesson for you to work your psychic muscles a little bit more. But other crystals like my azurite here, this little azurite, I think I've showed you guys in previous videos, but this little thing right here I instantly connected to and has really been the catalyst in my crystal journeys, if you will. It's really been helping me learn how to connect with my other crystals and how to just kind of communicate with crystalline consciousness. So it really just depends on what crystal it is and just kind of how they resonate with you. And if you're attracted to them, kind of just why are you attracted to them? So crystals can help us in any way we let them, but they alone aren't the solution to any serious issue. So say you have something like cancer. A crystal's not going to cure your cancer, however, a crystal will help you along your journey through that. So having the ability to connect with these crystals and to kind of open your mind to a different perspective is really what makes the difference when we have diseases or ailments. Crystals simply help us shift energy, vibrations, and perspectives. Like I said, they're not going to cure your illness, they're not going to cure your disease, but they can help you cope, help you understand, and maybe even shift energy and shift perspectives on how you look at a particular situation. So, not all crystals will work for everyone. It's easiest to choose a crystal based on feeling them and establishing initial physical contact. What does it feel like to you? So when you go to pick a crystal out, if you have some sort of crystal store or whatever have you, when you go to pick a crystal out, the best way to tell if you're going to connect well with a crystal is if you physically touch them. you gotta feel them up, you gotta get in there, feel the crystal vibes. But anyway, on a more serious note, when you work with these crystals, you're gonna want to get touchy-feely with them, and you're gonna want to hold them to your chakras. If they resonate with a particular chakra, you're gonna want to hold them to your chakras, and you're gonna want to really open yourself up to them and really kind of just ask the crystal, are you right for me? Really just kind of be open. You gotta be open and be aware and be willing to receive the messages and to receive the energy and vibrations that these crystals will give you. So crystals are beautiful creations of Earth and can help us create magic, miracles, and wonder. So crystals are so powerful in magic. Crystals are, my goodness, some of the most magically powerful items I have ever owned. Sometimes crystals blow me away with how magically powerful they are and how much they put their energy into a spell. And especially if you program crystals, especially if you actively ask them to do a certain thing for you and you really give them your all, they're gonna do as much as they can. And it might seem weird referring to them as like an actual being when they're kind of like, a rock literally, but I differ. I kind of disagree. I feel like crystals have a certain type of consciousness of their own, one that we have yet to fully understand. And with my experience with crystals, the crystals have told me things that I haven't known on my own. And it's like, if the crystals were just rocks and I'm just interacting with rocks, how in the world have I learned something new? So that in itself has kind of been proof to me to really kind of let me know that crystals do in fact have a consciousness. Crystals do in fact have magical energy and magical powers, and crystals will communicate with you if you ask them to do so, and if you open your minds and your energy field and your love to them, and you exchange this energy openly and mutually. Alright, and lastly for this video, where can you find crystals? Crystals can be found in many places, especially where you least expect to find them. Crystals are commonly found in metaphysical stores, gift shops, mall stores, amusement parks, and online. In fact, you can even find crystals naturally or randomly. So one of the crystals that I have actually found is this little crystal right here, and it came attached to a necklace. It was a necklace when I first found it, but the rope that it was on has broke. I kind of wore it out. I used to wear this in a lot of my videos. In my older videos, you'll see me wearing this crystal, and I might have even told this story before. but I actually found this thing on the sidewalk walking home from work, and I feel like it was the universe's way of giving me love when I needed it the most. And it's rose quartz. So you'll find crystals if you're open to their energy. You'll discover them. You'll come across the ones that are right for you when you actively put the desire to attract them, and when you try to attract them, the right ones will come to you. And that's kind of what I believe and what I've experienced. And finding crystals is incredible, and I still can't believe I found this thing, and it's been one of my most powerful crystals and has really helped me not only help myself but help other people that I know as well. And it's old too, and it's kind of beat up, but it's like it's my buddy, you know? All my crystals are my homies. So different crystals are found from around the world and are some of the most sought after items, like diamonds. Crystals can help us raise our state of being if we open our energy to theirs. Anyone can use crystals, for we have been using them for thousands of years. Working with crystals can be a very rewarding experience and can help us ultimately open our minds, hearts, and eyes to the magic of Earth only if we dare to try. So, with crystals, in conclusion, it really depends on how willing you are to open yourself. And crystals are incredibly gorgeous, especially this one. My goodness, this is Carbonundrum, for any of you guys who do not know what this beautiful thing is. I saw this in a store and it reminded me of a dragon scale, kind of had to have it. It's my most expensive crystal and my biggest crystal. And certain crystals will just call to you. And certain crystals will draw you in, especially if you're supposed to work with them. And that, like, going off that topic, this crystal here drew my attention when I was in the store, a store called Mystic Visions. This particular crystal really drew my attention and always called me whenever I went in the store. And then one day I went in there and it called me so hard that I just couldn't walk away without it. So I had to purchase it, and honestly, it's been nothing but beautiful. You've probably seen it in some of my videos already. I use it to film cannabis on top of and take pictures of cannabis on top of, because it's just a great and beautiful background and really makes the flowers pop. But yes, anyway, with crystals, it really just depends on how open you are. And the more you open yourself, the more the crystals will be open and open up for you. So when you're going out to find a crystal, just remember to physically touch them if you can. Online crystals is a little bit different. I do have a few crystals online. This azurite that I talked about earlier, I actually purchased that online. And it's strange because most of the crystals that I have the strongest connection with, I physically purchased. I felt them, I touched them, you know, kind of like, I was like, ooh, poking you, rub it up, you know? But like, no, some crystals will just like, even their energy over a screen will call to you, and that's the most incredible thing to me anyway. I have quite a few, I think I have a few crystals from online, and it's just awesome. Crystals, it's an addiction sometimes, but I really highly recommend to get in touch with the crystals that you have before you purchase more. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I'm really trying to get to know every single crystal that I have, and like I said, this isn't even all the crystals that I own. I do own quite a few crystals. So in conclusion, it's just kind of like being open and being aware and being willing to work with them and just kind of really being sensitive to their vibrations. So that would be my introduction to crystals in my new series of Crystals 101. So please, if you guys have any questions about crystals, any video topics that you would like to see in the future, please leave them down below and let me know, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Don't forget to say hi to your sparkly friends for me, and bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment telling me why, and subscribe to see what I'll post next. If you love my content, please become a sponsor over at Patreon. It helps keep the channel going so I can post awesome videos for you guys. All the links will be down below. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Blessed be, and peace!